It is time for another edition of Binge or Cringe. This is where we watch a show that is streaming on one of the platforms and tell you if it's binge-worthy or cringe-worthy. This time, we are talking about Netflix's interactive animated show, Cat Burglar. Cat Burglar Meow, I should say. And this is created by producers Charlie Brooker and Annabelle Jones, who also did the interactive Black Mirror episode, Bandersnatch. Have you guys happened to check out that?
Yeah, it's the only other interactive thing I've ever done. I didn't even know that the same person was involved.
How did you like that show?
I don't really watch much Black Mirror, but like that was like such an event one that everyone was talking about that I had to try it out. But I remember really enjoying it.
I'm really bad at those things because I'm always trying to take like the most laziest approach. So it's like, oh, these CD guys are getting into a van over there. Do you want to go check it out or you want to go grab a burger? I want to go grab a burger.
Yeah, burger sounds good right now, yeah.
So I figured this time around, I would be a little more willing to be exploring what this show does. And with this show, the viewer must get the feline felon, whose name is Rowdy, into a museum to successfully steal some valuable art without being stopped and killed by Peanut, the security guard. And throughout the cartoon, multiple choice trivia questions appear on the screen, which must be answered quickly. Each right answer advances Rowdy towards the valuables, but each wrong answer has him hilariously killed. And after 3 deaths, you have to start over from outside. And if in case you're wondering, like, why does he only have 3 lives instead of 9 lives? They explain that in the show. So we're basically going to be telling you, is the show perfect or a catastrophe?
Boy.
You're proud of that one. There you
go. Oh, he's laughing. Of course he's proud of that.
Stayed up all night with that one, my friends. So before I answer the question, I want to compliment the animation up front. The style of it is like that classic kind of Looney Tunes cartoons, like specifically the ones that were like done by legendary animator Tex Avery. Even when the show begins, you get like the MGM kind of Tom and Jerry opening. You know, Tom and Jerry had that line, but in this case, they have like a little elephant in there. And like the title screen has their faces like Tom and Jerry does. Because I grew up on those kind of cartoons. So I like the frantic pace of the show. I like classic symphony music they're playing throughout the scenes. What'd you think, Tyler?
It really brought me back to like all that Tom and Jerry cartoons I watched as a kid, more of a modern context. It brought back a lot of memories, but also a lot of rage because some of the questions that they asked through that show. I have notes here that I actually cannot read because I was so mad I scribbled them out.
Okay, so how about you, Mitch? Did you grow up on that kind of cartoons?
Yeah, very nostalgic. I watched a lot of Looney Tunes, and of course Tom and Jerry was huge. It's very eye-catching. All the antics that ensue that you would expect from something that's Looney Tunes-esque. It's all there.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I have to complain about is I thought the violence could have been a bit more extreme. But I would say the violence is like borderline itchy and scratchy levels of gruesomeness.
Yeah.
So the show promises to have different scenarios each time you play, especially when you get the answers incorrect, which means that we each had a different experience watching it. So let's go with Tyler first. What's your experience with the show?
So I grapple hooked in, cut the phone lines. I'm not gonna lie. I played a few times, and I played one more time last night when I started to drink, and that's probably where the scratching came in. Like there was one part where I think it was my 3rd or 4th and my probably 4th or 5th drink where you were supposed to answer this thing wrong so you could actually progress. But I didn't know that, and I died on my last life. I remember I stood up and I shouted at my TV like, what the f*** is this? I was mad.
I think a similar thing actually happened to me too.
It really reminded me of Dragon's Lair, that Don Bluth animation arcade game.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Except I actually was having fun up until it threw me over.
Okay, that's interesting because for me, I successfully only lost 1 life the first time I watched it to get to the end. Yeah, I guess I'm the smart one of the 3 of us. So I was like, all right, let me try it again. But this time I'm going to purposely get the answers wrong to see what happens. So I lost all 3 lives to see how it ends. And then I was a bit let down to see that when I started my second time, some of like the settings and situations I had already seen before. Like they're promising like something different each time, especially when you meet God at the end. So I kind of was let down with that. But I was very impressed with like the elaborate ways Rowdy and Peanut would try to like annihilate each other, because there's like one scene involving Rowdy going through like a long courtship, and then he gets married, then he has children, and then inevitably kills himself. And that kind of made me laugh. and then also there's a character like gets decapitated by a helicopter blade at the end. And I thought that was equally hysterical. But most of the time, I didn't get a big laugh out loud moment. I just got like chuckles here and there. How about you guys?
Yeah, I'd say it was the same for me. I don't think anything too guttural, but some good breathy laughs here and there.
Yeah, nothing above that.
The other thing that was kind of like not helping me to really attach to what's happening is that there's not much character development either. The main character that we're supposed to play, Rowdy, the only time he like even talks is when he up and you get like a question wrong. You know, other than that, he had nothing to say. Do you have any issues other than that, guys?
I guess like some of the transitions weren't as seamless as I wish they would be. Like I don't know, it was strange. The transitions like every so often would be seamless, and then every so often would just like cut awkwardly, and I'd be like, oh, okay, I guess I'm in this area now.
I did see that too, like a jump cut kind of in a way.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah. How about you, Tyler? Any complaints?
It's just a minor critique. It's just like clearly because it's different audio files like playing if you get it correct or don't. But like I noticed like that audio stop for just a half second then start back up for whichever outcome you got. And I noticed that and I'm like, I'm not letting it bother me. I'm not letting it bother me. It's bothering me.
I think the one thing I want to complain about, I found the questions to be relatively easy. And I understand the point is because you only have 10 seconds to answer 3 questions. But my issue is I would have preferred it to be more of like a choose your own adventure type of like questions where it's like, do you want to go down this hallway here? Or do you want to go through the vents up there to get to the vault? I guess we have much because the show is like about 12 minutes long and then you can repeat it over and over again. So it's not as episodic as I was hoping for. But I thought to myself, maybe they might have other episodes where he tries to break into other things and steal other stuff in the future. So this show sucks. I'm just kidding. This show was entertaining to watch. And Furley, you won't be bored. So I'm going to give this show a really casual binge this. All right, Tyler, what do you say?
I'm kind of along the same lines. Like, I didn't think I would enjoy it, especially at some of those bullshit questions. Like, how was I supposed to know the book of Ruth was a book in the Bible?
You're a heathen, Tyler.
And not the first time, won't be the last. I give it a binge this. Because, you know, even though it's very limited in what it's trying to portray, I still had fun doing it, more so when I was 4 drinks in. I can see people playing it with like their kids, just having some fun, you know?
Keep in mind, I've never seen this sober, but I had a lot of fun doing it. There was good humor. I actually did write down something that genuinely made me laugh. When the dog is like in the little security hut, I guess, he's reading Old Yeller. And he says, oh, don't tell me how it ends. And I just thought that was really funny. And even like some of the answers to some of the questions made me laugh. Like, what can you find on a golf course? And, the last correct answer was wasteful irrigation, which I thought was just like so goddamn funny. You know, there's some cute, funny moments. The animation's very solid. I'd give it a solid binge it.
All right. So check out the Cat Burglar show, and maybe you'll have some even funnier puns than I did.
Like and subscribe, folks.